بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome all of you wherever you are. I welcome you again with the first part of Fatwa Life that comes to you on this Friday, the 19th day of Ramadan. May Allah repeat it on you and the Muslims with all goodness. The first question in the question, do you convince your brain that you are capable of everything? Just tell your brain that you are capable of doing it. Even though I know that only Allah Azza wa Jal has the absolute power and we cannot do anything. But can I tell myself this? Can I convince myself of that? Or is it going to be an affliction that's going to lead to something worse? To the last of what he had mentioned in this long question, my son, this is could have good interpretation, it could be wrong. If what is meant that you pull away from sadness and stress and to be more energetic instead of lazy, and know that Allah is capable of making you capable. If you want to re-energize yourself, to push yourself up and to count on Allah Azza wa Jal on what you want, but you have to do the reasons, you have to do all the stuff for it, and not to be someone with full control of his will. You can convince yourself that if you want something and he did his best, that Allah Azza wa Jal will help him to establish it. Whomever worked hard, he will find, and whomever planted, he will cultivate. Allah Azza wa Jal made a reason for everything. This is a nice meaning. It will increase your energy. It will get away from the sadness, stress. But if it is to be the arrogance and to that you think you're capable, this is just an illusion. All power is to Allah Azza wa Jal. No one bring goodness except Allah. No one is gonna prevent harm except Allah. Whatever bounty we have is from Allah. Whatever mercy Allah gives, no one can hold it back, and whomever He holds, nothing going to send it. If Allah takes you with harm, no one's going to stop it. And if He give goodness, no one can stop it, and vice versa. And we always say, there is no change from one power to another power except by Allah. Allah alone is the one who is the ownership of everything. And He's the only one. The earth is going to be in His palm, and the heavens going to be folded in His hand. And if you want to look at your weakness, look when you are getting any small disease. He holds you and you have no more power. Where is your power? Or whenever you have a calamities of death. Allah said that if it reaches the throat and you're looking at it, you're looking at death. Or look at your childhood. Does the infant, whenever he's born, have any power whatsoever? No. Don't he knows and see that we have? So whoever has something of that illusion, and your tongue should be very busy with the remembrance of Allah, and you stay with a good companionship. The second question, If someone had another problem with someone else, if they enter the masjid, the other one will leave the masjid. Is there a sin on the imam? So those in the status of the imam is to fix what's between him and his people, and not to make any of them unhappy with him. To remember Allah saying they are not equal, the good deeds with the bad deeds. And no one will get it except those who are patient. Someone with a great luck, and whomever forgave and corrected, there is reward on Allah. To have the saying of the Prophet saying that Allah don't, every time you a servant is we have to help in the good, and to establish good and ordain what is good and forbid what is evil, and no, those whose prayers does not go beyond their ears, they're useless. The Prophet ﷺ said three, their prayer will not go there beyond their neck. The Imam and his people are hate him. It could be something else. And so if this one who's following, if he is he don't follow his leadership just because of the internal dispute, there's nothing on the imam, even though you give him the advice that he will fix on what is they won't tell you what is better than fasting and all of that. He said to fix the condition of others and to distort between people. It will be the halaqa, the one that shaves, does not shave the hair, shaves the religion. The etiquette of dua, what the Sheikh said, that you humiliate yourself out of Allah. Like you can't tell to how do I call it in a way that is suitable. And I know every day, the person who follow need to know with his heart that he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal with his heart and humbling himself toward him. And from the etiquette is to praise Allah and thank him for what he is deserving. The hadith of Fudal ibn Uayb, while the Prophet ﷺ sitting down, he said, "Oh Allah, forgive me." The Prophet ﷺ told me, "You rushed." So you have in another narration, if one of you prayed, let him start by thanking Allah and glorifying Him. Then let him make salah on the Prophet ﷺ, and then let him call whatever he wants. Then another person prayed, and he thanked Allah and he praised the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh, who prayed, ask, you'll be answered," because he asked by Allah's infamous name. Now facing the Qibla is from the etiquette of the dua. In the hadith of Umar, when it was the battle of Badr, the Prophet ﷺ looked to the so he kept saying, Allah, Allah me, what you have promised me. Give me what you promised me. Oh Allah, if you let these people die, you will not be worshipped again. Oh Allah, if you destroy these people of Islam, you will not be worshipped on earth. He kept seeking Allah, raising his hands, facing the Qibla, until his garment, Asa garment, fell. You also raising your hand with Allah. Allah feels shy to, if he gives him something to receive so much in him. And this hadith in Sahih Abu Dawud, that your Lord he should not put his palms to the floor. No, he need to be like the humble student who is looking at Allah, who is asking Allah. If you ask Allah, ask Him with the palms, the faces of your palm. Don't ask Him with prayer after. So put the hands just like Sheikh is saying, and you raise him. And if you ask him with the massage palms. Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen says, to be certain of Allah Azza wa Jal that He's going to answer you, and to have the presence of the heart, because the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, ask Allah and you are certain of the answer, and know that Allah does not accept the dua from a heart that's unaware of Allah. To insist in the to ask Allah what you wish from this life and the hereafter. Insist, and you still insist. Allah loves that He'll be asked, and He likes people to insist. Obvious to the humans, if you ask him anything, he was, they were close.
إن تركت سؤاله وبني آدم حين يسأل يغضب ولا ولا تدع
And don't ask Allah Azza wa Jal with sin or cutting the kinship.
استجابة للعبد
You will be answered as long as you call for
رحم ما لم يستعجل قيل يا رسول
They
الله
said, O Prophet of Allah, what is rushing? He said, to say I've make dua and dua, and I wasn't sure about that. What should I do?
اعلم أن كلام عن
No,
الله
Allah started you on the third.
أبدا أبدا
You never
إن الله
are prevented from anything when you make dua.
أن يرفع إليه يديه ثم يردهما صفرا لابد أن
You
تضع
have to put in your hand something.
إما أن يعجل كما سألته
So either he will rush to you something of goodness, or
أو أعظم منه
take something harmful of the same amount, or save it for you at the day of judgment, or give you something better than what you have asked.
وتريد
And you want
تغاث بقطرة
that you will be helped with one drop of rain, and Allah wants to
ما لم
make you drink
يستعجل
from the rain. As long as you don't get to what you.
فلم أرى يستجيب لي فيستحفر يديه ويدع أن تجزم في المسألة
You have to be firm in your dua.
إن كنت عايز تغفر لي اغفر
You don't say, "Oh Allah, if you want to forgive me, forgive me. If you want to
مثل الحديث
wipe my sins, wipe my sins."
اللهم اغفر لي
No, just be, "Oh Allah,
بدعوة
forgive me if you wish."
الله
Because Allah, nothing going to hold back.
رواه الشيخان التضرع
The experience of calling,
إنهم كانوا يسارعون في الخيرات ويدعوننا رغبا ورهبا وكانوا لنا خاشعين واذكروا ربك
so remember your Lord in yourself
ودون الجهل من
and without raising your voice,
لا تكن بدعا
and don't be among those who betray.
تكرر الدعاء ثلاثا
Repeat 3 times.
وفي حديث الشيخين عن ابن مسعود قال بينما رسول الله صلى الله عليه
While the
وسلم
Prophet ﷺ is praying,
وأبو جهل وأصحاب له
and Abu Jahl is sitting there,
زور بالأمس فقال أبو جهل أيكم يقوم إلى سنة جزور بني فلان فيأخذه فيضعه على ظهر محمد إذا سجد
he said, "Who's gonna put this thing
فأخذ
on them?" So when he prostrated, he put it between his shoulders,
فاستضحكوا وجعل بعضهم يميل على بعض
and they start.
صائم أنظر لو كانت لي منعة طرحته عن ظهر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والنبي صلى الله
The Prophet ﷺ was prostrating, and they put all this inside of the animals on his head, on his shoulders. And Ibn Mas'ud, he said, "I wish I had power so I could go and help him." And Fatima was still a young girl. She came in and she took it out. Then he, alayhi salatu wasalam, start making dua. And if he make dua, he'll make it 3 times. And if he asks, he'll ask 3. Then he said, "Oh Allah," on Quraysh, and he said 3 times. When they heard his voice, they stopped laughing. And they were afraid of his da'wah, because they knew that his dua is accepted by the house of Allah. He said, "Oh Allah, Shama, Utbah ibn Rabi'a, Shayb ibn Rabi'a, Walid ibn Rabi'a," and he started naming one by one. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud says, "By Allah who sent Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the truth, I've seen everybody he have named dead in the battle of Badr. They all died in disbelief in Allah, and they were thrown in the wells of Badr." Also, Allah is good, does not accept anything but good. He ordered the believers just like the messengers. Because Allah said, eat from the good and do good deeds. I'm aware of what you are doing. And he said, oh, you believe, eat from the goodness of what Allah provided you. And then he mentioned the man. He prolonged the traveling, and his hair is dusty, his clothes dusty, and he raised his hand to the heavens, and nothing is coming because he's eating from haram, drinking from haram, and everything is haram with haram. So how could it be answered? So eating, drinking the haram, the wearing of the clothes of the haram. So, but you have to make that dua, as we said. I remember in Surah Maryam where Zakaria made the dua and he never gave up for the dua with Allah Azza wa Jal. Anyway, I apologize for my brothers who sent questions while we are this lecture. Inshallah, we will put those at the top in the next lecture after 2 hours, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.